Imagine signing a 5-year lease only to walk into a building with no air conditioning, half-finished construction, and workers literally standing on fire sprinklers. That was my life for one miserable week. But here's the thing. Our landlord thought he could trap us. What he didn't know was that I was about to make one phone call that would get his entire building condemned. And the best part? He never saw it coming. If you've ever wanted to see a greedy slumlord get absolutely destroyed by his own negligence, hit that like button and subscribe. Because what started as one of the worst work trips of my life turned into the sweetest revenge I've ever experienced. I'm Alex, the IT guy for a mid-sized company, and this story starts with a simple assignment. Drive 8 hours north to set up network wiring in our satellite office. I had my car packed with 4 boxes of Cat6 cable, some tools, and a naive hope that this would be a straightforward job. I was wrong. We arrived on a Monday morning. The sky was clear, the air was cool. One of those mornings that tricks you into thinking life is going to cooperate. Inside, the building looked fine at first glance, but there were subtle hints that something was off. Exposed wires, ceiling tiles slightly ajar, workers still wandering the halls with tool belts. Still, I shrugged it off. I had a job to do. By 11 a.m., the cool morning air was gone. Pause. I felt sweat crawling down my back, and the air felt like it was holding its breath. Pause. Slightly annoyed. My coworker, our facilities manager, fanned himself with a clipboard. "Is the AC on?" I muttered.
Apparently, no one had noticed that the air conditioning wasn't working until we were now basically cooking inside a glass and drywall oven. By 3 p.m., the thermometer read 85 degrees. The rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows, literal greenhouses. And when we asked the few workers left on site about the AC, they casually said, "Oh yeah, the leasing company knows. Been out for weeks." Weeks. My stomach sank. Something about this landlord already felt predatory. Day 2, we show up and it's already 80 degrees in the morning. The facilities manager is now openly yelling into his phone, "Fix the bleeding AC or we're walking out." By midday, I'm up in the drop ceiling, crawling through itchy insulation, running network cable, when I notice something bizarre. A 4-foot hole in the ducting. Cold air was blasting straight into the ceiling cavity, never reaching the rooms below. The AC contractor finally arrives on day 3, fiddles with the system for hours, and when we ask what they did, they smirk. Can't tell tenants. Excuse me? Later that night, a realtor emails us. They said they converted the refrigerant from R222 to R410A. I froze. I used to run low voltage and knew enough HVAC to resize. That's like putting gasoline in a diesel engine. They didn't swap the entire system in 4 hours. They're lying. Translation, this AC would probably die again in a month, and guess who would be stuck footing the bill? By day 4, my frustration had turned to quiet fury. Pause. No water in some areas, AC barely keeping up, building workers still everywhere. And then I noticed something that made my blood run cold.
The fire sprinklers had shifted. Some were sticking lower than they should. Others weren't even protruding from the ceiling anymore. The metal rings that should protect them, on the floor. I realized instantly what happened. Those idiots stood on the fire sprinklers to fix their ductwork. Our company tried the polite route. We told the landlord, "You haven't delivered a finished building. We're moving out. Lease is broken." He said, "Read your lease. 5 years, no exits." 36 pages of fine print, and legally, we were trapped. I felt that wave of helplessness,
like being handcuffed to a sinking ship. But helplessness has a funny way of sharpening your mind. I started investigating the fire system. No fire alarm panel, no connected smoke detectors. One of our movers casually mentioned, "Hey, I never saw any permits on the walls." Ding, ding, ding. I grabbed my phone and called the city inspector. Day 5, I wasn't even there, but the facilities manager called me, barely containing laughter. The inspector pulled permits for the building. There were none. He walked in, took one look at the fire system, and said, "Oh no, I need to make a call." Next thing we knew, the fire marshal arrived. No active fire alarms? Sprinklers damaged? Main riser with no water pressure? Red tag.
Certificate of occupancy revoked. By day 8, the entire building was officially condemned. All because the landlord tried to trap us in a lease for a building that should never have been occupied. We got every penny of rent and deposit refunded. Our lawyer is pushing for labor, wiring, and moving expenses. The landlord? Mocking tone. Fighting a battle he's already lost. Because when you gamble with safety and greed, karma doesn't bluff. And I'll be honest, watching that slumlord's empire crumble under a bright red condemned notice felt like the universe itself whispered, "Justice served." The image of that condemned sign on the door, that's the moment the anger, the exhaustion, and the powerlessness all melted away. We didn't just get out of the lease. We took down the entire operation. Sometimes doing the right thing isn't about yelling louder. It's about knowing where to press. That landlord thought he was untouchable until the fire marshal came knocking. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. Comment below, have you ever seen a scammer get the karma they deserved? And of course, subscribe for more stories where bad people finally get what's coming.